What happens when a family gathers to sort through a dead man's estate and uncover secrets no one was ready for? Find out in Appropriate, now playing at the Only Theater Center. From Tony Award-winning playwright Brendan Jacobs Jenkins, critics have called Appropriate part family sitcom, part sibling deathmatch, part socio-political gut punch, and a masterclass in gritty, unrestrained performance. Audiences are loving it too, so much so that it's been extended through April 26th. But seats are going fast, so don't miss it. Visit onlytheater.org to grab yours before they're gone.
The French have a phrase, joie de vivre, the joy of living. Alliance Française brings that joy through French language classes, culture, and community straight to you. Classes start May 2nd, but first, try a free Zoom class the week of April 20th. No commitment, no excuses. Early bird pricing ends April 17th. Visit francedc.org and sign up today.
Today on CityCast DC, you wake up with that telltale dry mouth, faint headache, still in your clothes from last night. Yep, the hangover. It happens to the best of us. And as we'll get into, it can even happen if you don't drink. So crack open that Pedialyte and settle in, because Ann Limpert and her colleagues at the Washingtonian put together a list of DC's best hangover foods, and fair warning, some of these picks are going to surprise you. Today's Monday, April 6th. I'm Bridget Todd, and here's what DC is talking about. And welcome back to the show.
It's so good to hear you.
Okay, so y'all wrote a piece about your favorite hangover foods in the area. I have to ask, was it born out of somebody just had a killer hangover and it was like, we have to write this?
It is a piece that we kind of have been doing for years and coming back to for years. This one we updated for St. Patrick's Day. That was the timing of it. But
makes sense. Makes sense.
Yeah. But it's always a good time to kind of pull the food team and see what's curing them.
When was the last time that you had a killer hangover?
The worst one I had probably was after my birthday last year. It lasted for 3 days. It was martinis at Joe's, and then I went to a show at the Anthem and didn't realize I was drinking double white wines and
When I was young, I genuinely thought that hangovers was something that somebody made up to scare youth out of drinking, because I could drink a million beers in a night and never get a hangover. When I turned 30, a switch flipped in my body. Yep. If I think about alcohol, I have a little hangover.
Oh, no. I mean, yeah, it's so different for every person. I can drink champagne and have no problem, but one glass of red wine will give me a migraine for 2 days. So it just so depends on your body chemistry.
Yeah, my last killer hangover wasn't that long ago, actually. I was out at a restaurant and we had ordered a side or an appetizer and it didn't come out. And so when we got our bill, we said, oh, we didn't get the thing we ordered. And they said, oh, we're so sorry. And they brought us shots to say we're sorry. I have a blanket no shots rule, but I didn't want to be rude. As soon as I took that shot back, I knew we're about to get ahead. We're taking a ticket to Hangover Town here.
Yeah, shots are dangerous, especially it's been a while, but Jägermeister, the college nasty shots, those are dangerous business. But yeah. So what did you do to cure your hangover?
Oh, it's something that was on the list, actually.
Okay.
And this is a great segue. Pho. Pho is just what I want when I have a hangover. And so I was happy to see that made the list. For your last hangover, was the thing that you were craving on the list as well?
No, the only thing I was craving was saltines. It was
oh, that's bad. That's when you know it's bad.
Saltines and Sprite. That was it was real bad. But yeah, pho and kind of any brothy soup is such a good way to go. So restorative and isn't going to make you feel awful.
Yeah, I think pho is good because there's hydration in there because of the broth. This is a little bit of a controversial opinion, and it does conflict with some of the items on the list. This might be just a me thing. I don't want anything too heavy. Mm-hmm. Often my hangovers are stomach unrest, unease. And so you might be craving like a big, juicy, messy, hearty thing, but I tend to go for something a little bit lighter. What do you think about that?
No, that makes total sense. And I think like a lot of people really love like bacon, egg, and cheeses. That's their go-to. And that's kind of the last thing that I would want. Just like I go for something like much easier on the day, like a pho, ramen, or like even a bagel with cream cheese.
Yeah, I guess I wouldn't say that surprised me, but that would not be my first thing I'm reaching for when I'm hungover in the morning. Were there any hangover foods on the list that surprised you?
I kind of like this list because it's so varied. I was rereading it, and some people might be surprised to see like a meatball sub on there. That might be a little ambitious. Or maybe the Doro Soul Food mac and cheese, which is amazing. But it's funny, like we used to interview bartenders for the story, and they would have some really weird ones. Like one, I remember, swore by eating an entire bell pepper.
I've heard that before.
Really?
Yeah.
Another one recommended eating a pickle before you go out and then eating a pickle right when you wake up the next morning. There was something about like the brine that helped with the dehydration. I guess it's so salty.
That actually makes sense to me because electrolytes, I think that when you think everybody has their little hangover cure, but something that I believe is grounded in medical science is that replacing the electrolytes that you lost through drinking is a good thing to do before, after your last drink, before you go to bed, and then again in the morning. So that pickle juice thing might actually be backed into some real science.
Totally. The other thing that came up a lot is Pedialyte, which is like the electrolyte solution. It's for basically like after you have food poisoning, and it does not taste wonderful. But as a parent, I can give you a tip that Pedialyte popsicles are much better. But that was kind of an across the board hangover cure that bartenders would talk about. And some places now have it on the menu. It's funny.
At bars?
So like I Egg You, it was like a breakfast sandwich pop-up, and it now has like a permanent home on the hill. They have Pedialyte on their menu. They also have a combo of like liquid IV, a Bloody Mary, and a Diet Coke.
Yeah. There, You Baking Me Crazy was one of the hangover foods people like. So you could just really make a thing of it. Get the sandwich, get the Pedialyte, get the liquid IV, a little bit of a hair of the dog, which I would not recommend, but I get it.
Me too. Doesn't work for me, but yeah, you do you. And then get yourself a ride home. Make everything easy on yourself.
I had a hangover a couple of months ago. I had a friend in town and we went to do karaoke. And it was one of those weekends where you've got a friend in town, so you're doing an event in the evening with the friend. And then in the morning, you're going to go to brunch. And I texted the group. I was like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to make it for this brunch. They were like, come. So I ended up taking a Pedialyte in my purse to the brunch restaurant and took little swigs of it.
I feel like brunch is so dangerous because then you risk the brunch hangover. And I feel like for me, all I have my eye on is a good night's sleep the night after, because that's really what's going to make you feel better. And if you go to a boozy brunch and then you take a nap from 4 to 7, then you're kind of up all night.
Yeah, I think you're just kicking the hangover can down the road a little bit. You're not actually buying yourself any real relief. I do like that this list kind of takes some liberties about when the hungover person might be eating. Some of these things are breakfast foods. You also have a double cheeseburger, and it says, if you've never started the morning with a sloppy double cheeseburger, it's time to open your mind and visit this Shaw Dining Room, unconventional diner, which serves brunch until 3:45 every day. So I like that. Let's not assume that you're getting up bright and early at 8 a.m. with a hangover and going straight for our conventional breakfast foods.
Yes. That was actually one of mine. And conversely, I also really like having the onion soup at La Diplomat at 9:30 in the morning.
Oh.
So it kind of works both ways. But yes, with hangovers, I just feel like you'd have to pay attention to what you want. Don't pay attention to anything else that will make you feel good. So if it's not eating until 4, that's fine.
I totally agree. Just lean into what's going to make you feel better.
And maybe the only thing that I try to kind of avoid is caffeine, just because it does help with a headache, but it also can keep you up, obviously, at night.
The late congressman and civil rights icon John Lewis has always been one of my personal heroes. Maybe you've even seen that beautiful mural celebrating him in Southeast. So I will definitely be honoring his spirit and legacy at one of the hottest shows of the spring that is already selling out fast. Young John Lewis, prodigy of protest, is the electrifying new hip-hop musical taking over the Atlas Performing Arts Center, with over 15 performances already sold out. From award-winning DC playwright Sol Mayani 24 and Grammy-nominated Kokai, this is the untold origin story of a true legend. They are taking it back before he was a congressman, back before he made history. Young John Lewis, prodigy of protest, plays March 26th through May 3rd at the Atlas Performing Arts Center. Get your tickets at mosaictheater.org and I will see you there. Life can change faster than DC's seasons. One moment, everything feels normal, and next, your world is turned upside down. So don't let someone else's mistake ruin your spring. Call the team you can count on. NACE Law Group has been standing up for DC families for decades, fighting for neighbors hurt by medical malpractice, wrongful death, and serious injuries. They don't just settle quickly or push papers. They dig in, fight hard, and make sure every client gets the justice they deserve. And here is something that I love. They are a longtime supporter of CityCast because just like us, they really care about this community and the folks who call it home. So if you or someone that you care about has been hurt, don't wait. Call NACE Law Group. They'll stand with you, fight for your family, and make sure your rights are protected so that you can focus on what matters most.
Spring is here, and it is finally that rare time of year in DC when it's neither too cold nor too hellishly hot to open your windows. So don't miss out. Window Nation's The More You Buy, The More You Save sale is going on now. You could save up to 50% off all windows for your home. Window Nation's installation crews finish the job in 1 day or less, so you can enjoy the breeze with minimal disruption. Best of all, they offer a lifetime warranty on all their windows, so you can relax, knowing your home is protected far into the future. Hurry! This sale ends soon. Schedule a fast free consultation now at windownation.com.
Again, this might be a little personal quirk of mine, which is that let's assume that you are, you might be feeling good enough to go to a restaurant, go out, but if you're getting something delivered to your house, I live for a pho when I'm hungover, but the one time that I ordered it, like Uber Eats or DoorDash, it comes disassembled.
Yes.
Which is something
Ramen does too.
Yeah. Something that I knew kind of in my head, but when I was hungover, when I opened the package, I was like, I want to feel better and eat pho, not put together in an IKEA ramen. You know what I mean?
Totally. No, that is like, when I think of like things not to get, it's anything that requires work, really, or thought. But yes, I've been there too, for sure.
One of the things that I think makes your list so unique that you kind of called out a little bit is that it's so varied. There's a bunch of different kinds of foods and different kinds of locations. Do you have a favorite on this list?
Actually, the one that I have probably turned to the most in the last couple of years is the Reuben from Bullfrog, which sounds like it could be iffy, but it's really good. And it's really kind of compact. And, it's not like one of those deli Reubens. It's just takes up the whole plate. And there's something about the sauerkraut and the corned beef. It's not too greasy, but it's definitely, it's not light either, And I also am a fan of the General Tso's chicken at City Lights.
Yes,
they make the best.
On the Reuben tip, I don't feel like I want anything too messy, too involved. Yeah. And the fact that Reuben is sort of compact and kind of easy to eat in one setting is the name of the game.
Yep.
General Tso's I live above a Chinese carryout, and that is a go-to. It's easy to digest, easy to eat, just a tad greasy, but in a good way. I feel like General Tso's is a really top-tier hangover food.
Totally. Well, that was, Anthony Bourdain used to say, some sort of leftover Chinese carryout, a joint, and a Coke, I think. That was his hangover trifecta. But yeah, and then the nice thing about that, too, is that it, keeps really well. So you can just kind of come back to it in your fridge if you're not feeling it right when you get it.
Because sometimes when you're hungover, at least for me, I don't know if I have a stomach ache or if I'm hungry. So I want to tread carefully. It's like, I gotta be. So you want to get something that if you just feel like taking a few nibbles and then wrapping it up, it'll still be good when you come back to it when you're genuinely feeling like eating a full meal.
Totally. Yeah. And like sometimes you can just be like feel a little more ambitious than you actually end up. That's why I feel like restaurants are kind of tricky, because you go and you're like, I can handle this. And you sit down, you're like, oh, no. Let's wrap this up.
Yeah, that's happened to me before, where you're sitting there and you're just feeling worse and worse and worse. And eventually you just have to be like, I gotta call it. I need to be on the couch, horizontal, watching bad TV.
Totally.
I feel like the list almost has themes or categories. Was that a purposeful choice?
No, it really was like really just subjective. Like, what are you into? Because like comfort food, it's so different for everybody. Like your comfort food is probably different than mine, and it's different from the next guy, And I think it's funny, like I think nostalgia has something to do with it too. Like I don't eat a lot of McDonald's these days, but if I get really, really sick, like food poisoning, the only thing I'll crave is a McDonald's cheeseburger, and that's something I had all the time when I was a kid.
It's funny how the things when you're not feeling good, the things that will bring you comfort, things that you maybe never eat, you're like, oh, I need that cheeseburger from when I was a kid.
And I feel like one thing that doesn't get talked about a lot is the non-alcoholic cocktail hangover. Like one of our freelancers, Nevin Martel, wrote a piece for us a couple years ago about like waking up with this like head pounding and feeling like really groggy. And he had a spirits-free pairing the night before at a restaurant, which is full of like sugary juice, caffeinated tea, coffee, and he was like up all night with a throbbing head. So you have to watch out with that for that stuff too.
That reminds me of, I was at a restaurant in West Virginia and I wasn't drinking at the time, and they had CBD, THC drinks on the menu. And I was like, oh, I'll just, while you guys drink, I'll just drink these. Let me tell you, if you think that you're going to avoid feeling bad the next day just because it doesn't have alcohol, you are kidding yourself.
Yeah. You mentioned like not drinking. At the time, I feel like a lot of people are just also not drinking these days. Like just anecdotally, I feel like people are drinking just a lot less. But that's not what we're talking about. we're talking about overdoing it.
It's true. And I get it. I mean, wanting to avoid a gnarly hangover is reason enough. I mean, every time I have a hangover, I say, that's it. I'm never drinking again.
Never again. Yes.
You said that you talked to bartenders about what they recommend. What was it like reporting this story and asking people who are slinging drinks, like, oh, what do you do if someone has imbibed too much?
It was really interesting just because it was so all over the place. But a big through line, too, was big bowls of pasta. That was like, like a carbonara or like a bucatini matriciana. But yeah, the ones that stick out are like the bell pepper, the weird ones that kind of make no sense to me. But if it works for them, great.
Yeah, I do see that as a through line, the carby, cheesy, like that seems to be a through line. Even though this list is so varied, that seems to show up often in the list.
Yeah, I feel like you can go one of two directions. You can go like brothy, restorative ramen, like menudo, or you can do rich, indulgent, cheesy, greasy. Or you can eat a bell pepper.
Is there anything that almost made the list but then was left off?
Yeah, I did not put my onion soup on the list because I just felt like that would have been a little too far for people. They would have looked at this list and been like, oh, what? I'm trying to think of what else. Not really. I mean, it's kind of a list that has no boundaries in a way. It's not like a 10 best where we have to really narrow it down. So it'll keep evolving. We'll keep adding to it.
We'll have to have you back. Although I have to say, I do like the idea of people being like, Anne wants me to hungover, go to La Diplomat and order the soup.
Again, it's also brothy and restorative and cheesy. It's both of those things all in one.
Yeah, when you think about it, it is kind of a sleeper. It does have all the things.
Yeah, got bread, like a lot of bread to, soak it all up.
Well, I love ending on an unconventional note. Anne, thank you so much for being here. Hopefully the next time that we chat, neither of us will be hungover.
Yeah, I hope so. I'm not hungover now. I just have a cold.
That is all for today here on CityCast DC. If you enjoyed the show, why not tell your friend who had a little bit too much fun this past weekend? You can rate the show, leave us a review, and subscribe to our morning newsletter. And don't forget to become a CityCast DC member. You can do that at membership.citycast.fm. We'll be back tomorrow with even more news from around the city, and we'll talk to you then.